Hi, hello, hi, and welcome to all our hearts and minds. Thank you again for tuning in. We're here to discuss all things that have been on our hearts and minds, the good and the bad, the concerning and uplifting, or just straight talk. We're your hosts, Kimmy, our passionate heart,
Yeah, I am.
and then there's me, Jeanette, our mind and chronic overthinker. Let's get into it.
All right.
Okay, so
Things to
for
get into.
yes, it's a
Yes.
big show. Lots to talk about. End of
Mm-hmm.
the year. December is always a funny time of the year. That's when something about humans. Things just get haywire. But
Sure
anyway, let's
does.
first start before we get into the nonsense. Let's just start in with our checkup. How are you doing, friend?
I'm okay. I'm okay. It's getting closer and closer to Christmas. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, just glad to be alive, I guess, and thankful that I got through another week
Yep.
because these people out here in these streets are crazy.
Oh yeah.
Um and my daughter wasn't feeling well, and so she's feeling a lot better, so I'm glad about that. So overall the week was all right. How about you? What's
It was
poppin'?
pretty good. Yeah, the year is winding down, and I think outside yes, it could be crazy, but also could be a nice it could be an opportunity. The holidays is a good opportunity for holiday cheer. Let's not forget that.
Yes.
And that's what I'm just trying to do. And today I had dinner with some work friends. Had a work kind of, not work, but like had a little holiday cheer with some old coworkers. It was like really nice to connect. So that's one of
Mhm.
the positive things. It's hectic and annoying, but try and squeeze as much fun out of it as you can. That's what I have to say.
Mhm. Mhm. That's
Yeah,
right.
but all good. I would say family is good. I'm good, and
Mhm.
just living with an open and positive heart right now.
Yes. Try
All
your
right.
best.
Before we
Ay,
move
boy.
into our first segment, we are good. So now that we know we're good, we're going to ask our audience and those who are listening, you guys, if you like the podcast, please remember to subscribe and rate and add comments to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're on all platforms regardless. We're on YouTube, we're everywhere, but we really can use your help if you can give us ratings on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. And again, thanks for listening. And now we're going to
Yes.
head into the headlines.
Yes.
All right,
Mhm.
so we're gonna go into our first story, which is funnily enough, I don't know why I'm starting with this, but we're
Mhm.
starting with um Beyonce releasing her documentary or concert movie, I'd call it, for the Renaissance tour, which
Mhm.
I'm fortunate enough to have been able to witness in live and full effect.
Mhm.
And so she documented it similar to Taylor Swift. We had an episode where like, why are people comparing? But I mean, these are two, regardless, I don't think you're, again, as we said before, there's no room for comparison, there's no reason for comparison. They're both artists, male or female, who are in their prime element and creating art and creating experiences for their fans, right? And so
Mhm.
the thing is, it premiered, I think, now about a week ago. We record on Saturday, so about a week ago from now, it was premiered, and Beyonce had all the old Destiny Child. There's lots of celebrity guests there, of course, coming out to support. And there was one thing a lot of people were talking about outside of the body
Mhm.
of work, which was the actual documentary,
Mhm.
and that was Beyonce's skin tone. And there was a lot of
Mhm.
people. She was visibly more pale than I'm used to seeing
Yeah,
her.
just a tad.
Like, yeah, Beyonce is pale for a black person, but she's not like, this was like a
She's
lot.
not that pale. She's not that
Exactly.
pale.
And
And I
so
think the hair had something to do
the
with it.
hair
And I
too,
think
and I think the shimmer, the silver and the light, like, it's clearly not just lighting, but I
no.
also think the way the her what she was wearing and the hair and everything, it's gonna make you look even more
Mm-hmm.
somebody of her complexion who doesn't already has very little melanin already. It can wash you out, just like that kind of hair too.
Real easy and real
Yeah,
quick.
she was wearing platinum blonde, for people who don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of people are like, is Beyonce bleaching? Why would she bleach? Da 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 da. Da. I mean, I think it's. I guess I should have not been surprised because I mean, I was like, I never thought she bleached, but I was like, whoa, like Beyonce looks very pale. Like,
Right?
and so
Right.
obviously the trolls and everybody were like, I hope she's not bleaching. And people don't understand why this is a big topic for Black folks and why this bleaching thing is even a discussion is that bleaching is seen as like wanting, having a strong desire to be affiliated or adjacent to whiteness. And
Mhm.
obviously for obvious reasons that is kind of like not, it's like, and wanting, and that desire for that adjacent means you hate your own blackness. And so that's the first thing people come to when we think or suspect, or if it's even obvious, aka who's that Dominican baseball player? I can't even remember his name, but he went ham.
Oh yeah, he went ham.
I
Like
can't remember. I
he
hate
definitely changed. He could
I hate that
definitely
I
check
forgot
off
his
a different
name.
box. I can tell you that. He could definitely
I think
check
it's Sosa. I
box.
think it's Sammy
Sammy
Sosa.
Sosa, yeah, that's right. Sammy Sosa. He took it a little too far. One thing I want to say is that I'm not sure why this is a surprise. I mean, this is
Mhm.
not the first time that she's kind of been accused of that.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
sorry, Beehive. I understand she's your queen. I get that. However, your queen bleached a little bit, or she
Oh
lightened it in some way,
no.
in some shape or form, whether it was in her foundation or
Mm.
whatever. The makeup was a lot fairer than what she is. I'm sorry. And since she's been going all around the damn world in the hot sun, outperforming, doing all these things, I find it very strange that she is so fair.
I personally don't like. Well, my thing
There's
is like
something in the makeup. I don't
maybe the
think
makeup.
she's. I don't. You know what? I'm sorry, Beehive. Let me backpedal, pussy pop. But what I'm gonna say is that I think she might not necessarily be bleaching her skin to be lighter, but I think she definitely, her makeup artist definitely used a lot lighter of a
A
shade,
lighter foundation. Yeah,
a lot
something.
lighter of a foundation. Yeah, because she was looking damn near white or Romanian or something. And a
Yeah.
lot of people were coming for her and saying they almost mistaken her for Kim Kardashian.
Oh
And
no.
now we're not
No,
gonna go
let's not go far that far,
we're not gonna go
please.
that far, okay? Because
Even Kim
that's
Kardashian isn't even that complexion. Like
no,
even
she, but she is. There have been pictures where she has a very similar look, and a lot of the
well,
time, if you take a quick look see and you're not really paying attention, some people could, and I could see how,
I think the
I
thing
don't
is
agree
Kim
with it. I think
Kardashian.
that's going too far left.
Yeah,
But there's
but Kim
something in the
Kardashian also.
foundation that ain't right. Something in the foundation that ain't
Yeah,
right.
something in the foundation. And you were talking about tour. The thing is, she was touring. Like when she's touring, she has to hide. Like somebody saw her when we were in Toronto. There was footage of her when they were trying to ship. They have to move her from the dressing room or wherever she's getting dressed because I don't think she gets dressed. I think obviously they have a changing room, but they had to transport her to the concert venue, right? And they can't do that in a car or anything. So they had some box or something. I can't remember what it is, but there was something TikTok that I saw, right? And so she's just touring. She's sleeping, traveling, going back home, and going
Yeah,
on
but the
stage.
different the
And
different weathers, the different
but she's
there
not
are
outside when
places.
she's touring, right? She's inside a venue. She's not touring outdoors in the heat of sun. Like she's going around,
That's
doing her
true,
tour,
but
doing her shows,
you
resting,
but the
eating,
sun is
and
the
going back
sun. You
out.
just have to be out for like 5 or 10 minutes. Like, the sun is.
Ah,
My point is that there's obviously something wrong. We're speculating as to what it could be, but there was
yeah.
definitely something wrong with how the shade of Beyonce's skin. So,
Yes, yeah.
I don't want to focus.
We don't want to get too stuck on that. Yeah.
No, because really, at the end of the day, she did a wicked tour. She did wicked performance. Beyonce, they call her the queen for a reason. You understand what I'm telling you? And so, when her mama clapped back for her,
Oh yeah, I saw
her
it's a
mama,
long clap back. And we can accept it because it's her mother, because it's a long clap back, like clap back. But
right?
I
I
will have to
can
say
definitely accept. I could definitely
it's
accept
her
it from.
mother. So
Yeah, Queen Bee's mom. Yeah, she clapped back and put everybody to rest. But for the most part, there was something wrong there, and this is not the
yeah.
first time. This is, I think, maybe the second time where it's been insinuated that
And that's my
she
problem. Like I think
lightened her skin.
we can I don't think she was like we're seeing whatever. She was visibly lighter. and for whatever reason was bad foundation, whatever. She's visibly lighter, right? And I think what my issue with that accusation is, there's nothing about Beyonce that tells me she wants to be white, personally. As
No,
somebody
and I
who's a
don't think
deep
she
fan,
needs to be white. I don't
she
think that she
yeah,
needs to be white either.
she doesn't need to
However,
be, and she doesn't have the desire to be, based on if
how no,
everything.
she
Yeah,
doesn't. But why platinum blonde? Why, like, it could be questioned, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can
yeah.
see it from both sides of the coin. And I love Beyonce and her music, I
But the
do,
question
but
is also, why not platinum blonde?
well, I totally understand why she went platinum blonde, right? But I would have thought that someone so fierce would have came out with maybe a silver wig. I
No,
don't
that would
know.
be tacky.
Well, depending on
I
how
don't
it's
want her
done,
to
it could
do
be
that.
no. Well, depending on how it's done, it could be done really nicely.
That's very
Depending
hard to
on how
pull
it's done.
off.
I mean, she's done tackier when she dressed
Yeah,
like an Emmy,
she's been
right?
tacky
She's been
before.
tacky, so I
She's
mean,
been
tacky is
tacky.
of no reproach
Yeah,
for her, right? So, like, let's just keep it a buck. Like,
yeah.
she
I'll be
has been
honest.
tacky, and at one point, Mama Knowles was the one that was,
Yeah,
putting
and that
together
was
her
when she was the
costumes.
tackiest.
Okay, so we're not gonna say that she couldn't get tacky up
um.
in this.
Yeah.
Anyway. Long story short, whether she did or she didn't, one thing I do want to say is, why
Mm.
are we so fascinated on comparing? Why, as a people, are we so fascinated on comparisons?
Comparing to what? Who is
Like,
comparing her?
comparing anything, people to people,
Hmm.
artist to artist, actress to act. Like, why are we always so hang up on comparing,
Oh, I hate
right?
that. Well, I have a
But we
saying.
do it all the time. We do it
We
all
do
the
it.
time. We were even
It's
comparing Beyonce from a year or two ago, another picture of hers, or we're always
Yeah.
constantly comparing as a society, and I don't understand what the fascination is with comparing. Like, I don't get it. Why can't everybody have their own lane? That's just my point of view on that. And so let's move on from Miss Beyonce. Okay, Miss Beyonce, you living your best life in these streets, okay? Like, your best life. And your mama
She
dealt with
is.
it beautifully.
Yeah, and I
She
think she
sure did.
articulated a lot of what I would have to say, and I think it's clear is that Beyonce has done enough at this point to prove that she is not anti-black. She's pro-black. She's proud of her blackness, and I think anything stating otherwise is just like pure nonsense.
Well,
Um,
speaking from the beehive, then
mhm,
maybe, but somebody who's not, I try to look at it from outside of what I like. Do you know what I
mhm.
mean? And I could see how some people could
I
not
guess if you don't follow her
rock with
body of
this
wo-
look.
I-
This
if
look
you
didn't
don't
look good.
follow her body of work, then maybe you don't know, and then fine, that's just ignorance. But I'm glad there
Yeah,
was
but
plenty of
body of work
people.
is something that that she is musically producing.
Yeah,
This is
but your
not a
message,
debate of her abilities or her strength as a singer. We're talking about her appearance, right?
yeah, but then your parents, the problem why they're criticizing her appearance is that association to say that you're not proud of your blackness. And what trying to say is, in her body of work, which is your messaging and your branding, is clear that she's very pro-black and proud of her blackness. And I think there's nothing in her work that's anti-black. So that's what I'm trying to say when I say her body of work. I'm saying the actual messaging. And
Right,
so,
but I
which is
mean,
fine if you don't know, that's fine.
right,
But
but
that
it
is
could
just your
also be
ignorance
that her
of her
body of
body of
work,
work.
but her body of work doesn't speak of her life, because she's talking
Yeah,
about being a single lady and all this stuff, but yet you're married. It could be challenged that her body of work,
but the thing is,
you
if it's
know,
funny, the times that she was the most pro-black, it was the times where she was the most adamant in her speaking her truth. And again, I'm speaking as somebody who knows her work very, very well. And again, I'm not. You can't blame people for saying that if they don't follow her body of work. And I'm fine with that. And there was a clear issue, but I'm just saying that it's like the messaging is Beyonce is very much pro-black, and she's done a lot of things and said a lot of things to reaffirm that. She's put her career in jeopardy in certain times to
yeah,
reaffirm that.
definitely,
And so
definitely.
that's just where I'm going to end it.
Right, and to last thing I have to say about that is, Speaking from someone who might be a newbie to Beyonce, might not have the groundworks of her body of work like you might, if they're
Mm,
looking based off of what they're hearing and what they're seeing, sometimes even her body of work doesn't match how she's living. So, and how she actually lives her life. So, I mean, it's up for debate in some other people's eyes. For me,
mm.
she's a great artist and I can appreciate her for what she is. However, this picture looked kind of sus. It looked
No,
kind
it's
of sus to
definitely
me.
no question about that. No question.
So,
Yeah.
and then if there is a question of it to somebody who is not as developed in the Beyonce world
Hmm.
as you and I might be, they could then question her blackness, right? I
Hmm.
mean, when you have a contrary move like this, where it's visually very different, right, to what I'm hearing you speak of and preach of in your music. I'm just saying, some people might look at it like, this is just another situation where Beyonce, might not always be factual in her body of work. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Maybe that's her truth.
You
And
know
hey,
what? And it's
kudos to you,
true.
girl. Kudos to you.
Yes.
I'm just saying, somebody outside of liking her, I know we like her. That's great, right? But I like to look at from another perspective. And another perspective in this case is you speak of being so black, yet I look at this picture and I almost wonder if you're white. So, hmm, the messaging isn't connecting. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is that the messaging might not connect for some people, but people love Beyonce for her talents and her
Yeah.
abilities at the end of the day. I mean, she is a talented woman. And I'll
And
give her
people are
that.
going to talk. People are going to talk about like this is a culture we're in with social media. So what no matter what she does or any celebrity does, there's always going to be criticism. So that's just a part of the
Because there's
nature right
always going
now.
to be comparison. I mean,
And a word of advice to everybody on here because I was thinking about that as a friend. Think about another friend of mine and said comparison. They say it's a big saying. Comparison is a thief of joy. People never catch yourself with that. It's hard to do when you're younger. It's easy to fall in that trap.
hmm
But as somebody who's matured in life right now, yeah, comparison is a thief of joy. And anytime you find yourself comparing, you're already putting yourself at a disadvantage. So a word of advice from Auntie Jeanette:
right?
don't do it.
Don't
And
do
then
it.
one more
And
thing
don't
on the,
involve in it, man. Don't involve in it. If somebody's trying to egg you on in this comparison of people, just stop. Just let Beyonce shine. Who cares? You know what I mean? Just let her shine. I don't have to compare her to last year's picture of her or this year's. She is who she is, and she's gonna shine. So keep shining, Miss Beyonce.
yeah, and we can't worry about rich people problems.
Right? Like, let's
At
just
the end of
call
the
it a
day,
buck. Like, shit. I can't worry about rich people problem.
yeah, she ain't
Um,
sending me a check, so
that's so funny. Who's
she's
gonna be
good.
getting a check?
So another part of some controversy outside of her appearance at the premiere, which actually, side note, it was a really great to see the other Destiny Child's girls. They looked really great. I'll say my favorite look from the Destiny Child's, which was Latavia, Kelly Rowland, who's always hasn't gone anywhere, and shoot, I'm drawing a blank. Latavia and with the other girl, she has blonde hair now. The other original member. Why am I drawing a
And
blank on her name
she
right
did
now?
pretty Latoya.
Oh, Latavia and Latoya. I knew it was another L.
Mm-hmm.
Latoya Luckett. So they were all there. It was nice to see them. I think my favorite look, Kelly also donned the silver. Michelle Williams was a close between Kelly and Michelle were my second one. Oh, obviously Beyonce looked the best to me in terms of what she was wearing. But Kelly looked amazing, drop dead gorgeous. And Michelle, I also liked the dress that she wore to
Mm-hmm.
the premiere. And then another controversy outside, it was great to see the reunion of the girls, is people love to criticize Beyonce. Well, people love to criticize A-listers and celebrities in general, like I just said. But she's coming under fire because the movie is showing in Israel. And as we know, there is a whole war going on in that region right now. And there's a strong call globally for a ceasefire against their attack on Palestine. You know, as somebody who has vocally spoken for the oppressor, some people are disappointed in Beyonce for not removing the release from Israel. And I will say, as much as this is her movie and her name is on it, at the end of the day, she signed a contract with whoever produced that movie and released it and is distributing it to theaters. And I find it hard to believe that she has the power after signing over her movie rights and distribution to say don't show it in a particular region. They're going to show it in whatever region is going to pay to see it. And that's my business mind. And then on
Hmm.
my personal note, on my personal POV, I agree. Like, I think globally we're trying to, just like when, what happened in Russia and Ukraine, there was sanctions against Ukraine. I think there needs to be, I would not be against sanctions against Israel because of what's going on right now, the genocide in Palestine. And so, as much as it would be good, as she clearly doesn't have the power to do that. We live in a capitalist world. It's all about dollars and cents at the end of the day. What's right and wrong clearly doesn't have any say, unfortunately.
It's so inappropriate. I mean, to me, it's just not the time. But Beyonce doesn't have control over that.
Yeah,
Like she
exactly.
really doesn't. And so when she signs on the dotted line and accepts her check, that's sorry,
And you
she's
know what I
kind
just
of
thought
done with
of?
that.
It's not the people. The people are not, the people of that nation are not like the ones going over there and killing those people. It's the state and the military, right? So the people who live in that country and enjoying their day-to-day life um don't even have that influence. So it's not their fault. So actually, I'm okay with it being shown there because I don't think it not being shown there is going to do anything. We could see if the UN can't stop it. Literally, we have countries in the UN screaming for a ceasefire, and even
Hmm.
that can't happen because the US has a fight. The US has all the sway, and the US is not calling for a ceasefire, so it's not going to happen.
I don't want to get into the politics behind that,
No,
but
no,
they're
no,
not
no.
going to because they're actually helping to fund the war. But so it's profitable to a nation that is
Yeah.
very in dire economic strengths.
Yeah, and like to your
So
point, we can't. Is there's too many politics to get into
there's
it?
too much politics behind that,
Yeah,
and I'm not up for that right now.
no.
Um, but no, and you
It's
know
true.
what?
I agree.
I just don't, because it goes so much deeper.
Hmm. Yeah,
It would just be in our best interest to just keep it pushing.
keep
You
it
know,
pushing. We're gonna
keep
keep
it
it pushing. Well,
pushing.
anyway, I plan on seeing it during the holiday season. I saw the concert, but I think it will look even better on screen. And her last concert
Hmm.
for Beychella was amazingly put together. But yeah, celebrating talent and art, that's I'm all here for it. So now we're
Hmm.
gonna move on from that and get into Jeezy and Jeannie Mai. We talked about their divorce when there was a wave of separations happening
Yep.
a few like early like sometime last month. And
Yep.
you
Checks will
know
be cashed. Hmm.
Jeezy Jeezy J Jenkins dropped a bomb on the pop culture world when he filed for divorce from his wife, Jeannie Mai. They were married barely 2 years, maybe a year and a half, maybe even, maybe a year and a half, and they had a child together during that marriage. And everybody was like, "Whoa, what happened?" Because it's rare. It's rare for the man to file for everybody. So there's a lot of speculation, but again, we never know, right? So anyway, Jeannie Mai fight was on the Jennifer Hudson TV show, daytime television show, and she let the world know that she was not aware. She found out about the divorce the same time everybody else did, and
Wow.
that had taken me aback because I was just like,
What a slap in the
"What?
face, bro.
That
Holy.
is like completely. That's a different kind of blindside." And that would explain a lot of her silence during that time.
Yeah, she's going for his jugular. She's going for his pockets. So at this point, she speculates that he was cheating. And
Yes.
so this whole Jeannie Mai in Jeezy, like, I don't know if Jeannie Mai really looked at his past,
Yeah.
track record,
Mm.
and I know sometimes we say that we shouldn't judge somebody by their past. However, you shouldn't judge them, but their actions, right? And so their actions when he was with, baby mother number one, two, and three, one of them he proposed to, and it never, materialized, and that's fine, right? However, he has a tendency of cheating. He has a
Mm-hmm.
tendency of cheating, and I don't know if it was just a whirlwind for her, and leaving her 10-year marriage, and she didn't
Yep.
look deep enough. But I could have told you that he was going to cheat on you, Jeannie. I could have told you that, but you know what, who am I? You had to find out yourself, and you obviously speculated it too, because you made sure in your prenup that you put a clause specifically about him cheating.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's trying to come for her check and make sure her pockets are lined, because Jeezy has done really well for himself
As
outside
she
of
should.
rap. Like, he's done
Mm-hmm.
really well for himself, and so
Mm-hmm.
to be blindsided like this over something like that, you're damn right. I'm gonna line my pockets. I'm gonna make sure me and my child is good, because you've turned her into a single mother, which she didn't want to be,
No. Yeah.
and she obviously waited a very long time to even have one child, and when she did, this is how this all turns out. um it's sad, because now it's going to be another child of his fourth, that will not have him in the household. Jeezy
Yeah.
has a lot of demons that he has to work through, and he seems like he is working through. I don't see it being far-fetched that he cheated.
Mm-hmm.
um just again, based off of his past record, even when he started talking to Jeannie, it was while he was supposedly
Oh
lingering a
yeah.
relationship with his last baby mother.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I don't know if it walks like a duck. I don't know. So hopefully, somehow she makes sure she line her pockets real good. To be taken off guard like that, to find out when the world finds out, I kind of believe it and I kind of don't. If you were in counseling, then you had an idea that your marriage was in trouble, right? So I don't see how it was a total surprise, but him filing the way that he did, I don't know. That was kind of like, wow, you hit me in my jugulars, Brethren. Like, for real? Like, that was so below the belt for her. Because it seemed like she thought they were actually trying to work it out.
Yeah,
So,
because on the show she mentioned, I didn't say, she said that they were going back and forth to therapy. They were in therapy during that time. And so, the assumption I was assuming now on her part for her to be surprised is that we're working on our marriage. And while they're doing that therapy, he he drops the divorce papers on her.
yeah, he went and go
So
get his divorce
that
papers
is
quick,
very
fast, and in a
questionable
hurry.
character. I thought, well, hopefully at the end of the day things work out for the sake of their child.
And I really
Um,
do hope for the best for her, because I think
mhm.
she's been through a lot. But one maybe advice I could throw out there for Jeannie Mai: you might want to keep your relationship to you. I don't know. I find that whenever relationships, I don't know. I don't know. Just a suggestion. Who I might be talking on my ass, but if I were
Mhm.
you, girl, you might want to keep the next one to yourself for a little longer, to establish some real foundation with that person before you expose them to the world. So I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
Poor
So,
Jeannie Mai.
oh yeah, poor thing, but she'll be
Yeah,
good
she'll be
either
just fine.
way.
Yeah,
She'll be
she'll
just
write a
fine
book
either
and she'll
way.
be good. Yeah.
So we're gonna go over to our next story, which is, we talked about this. I think it was our last
Hmm.
episode, spinning the
Sure
block.
did.
And so Ashanti and Nelly seem to be, based on sources, Ashanti is pregnant.
Yep.
Um at first it seemed like speculation because there was a video at a celebration in I believe St. Louis, where there's a video of Nelly pointedly rubbing Ashanti's. It wasn't like, but it wasn't like, you know how sometimes you're doing something absent-mindedly and you tell on yourself. This was clearly on purpose. He was clearly trying to communicate a message, and then she put her hand on her stomach, and then the next day everybody was flying around with assumption rumors that Ashanti is likely pregnant. I think I saw in People magazine or something like that. They have a story where they say sources say that she's pregnant. She hasn't said she's pregnant, but supposedly, if places like People magazine and New York Post and is posting this with a source, then I'm 90% sure that's probably what's going on. Here's my thing. Congratulations to her first. Let me just say that she clearly had a high desire to start a family. Just reconnect with her ex after 10 years who dogged her out for 10 years.
Right? Mm-hmm.
But I think there was an article, I think we talked about this last time, where she did say, I think she was 41 at the time, that she's ready to slow down and think about family. And I think a lot of these decisions have to do with it. And you know what? If she's happy, I'm happy. But there is a lot of people online,
Mm-hmm.
as they always will, regardless whether you're doing good or bad, talking about the situation and her being a baby mother at 43 years old. And hey, again, like when we were talking about this, we want her to get the
Mm-hmm.
ring. Like we were saying, we want her to get the ring after everything she's been
Yes.
through. But if she doesn't want a ring, which I don't know her desire, then I can't say anything. But what did you have to say?
The my first thought is, like I said, the only way you can come back to me is on bended knee. You've gotten everything other than the damn ring, girl. You've gotten everything from this man. You've gotten cars and necklaces and all sorts of stuff. Now you have a baby by this man. This
Mm,
man has not shown you, not once, not twice, but 3 times, that he doesn't want you long term. He doesn't. And I don't know how many times he has to say he doesn't want you. He's having fun with you. Nelly, his lifestyle, he's having a good old funky time with you. Now, I will go back a bit and say congratulations, because every child is a blessing.
mm-hmm,
And so I'm super glad that you're going to be a mom and that you're going to experience what motherhood is like and all that. But being a single mother is damn near impossible. And those that pull it off, honestly, you need to pick up your cape,
mm,
because it's hard. You're raising an entire human being that is going to go back out into our world and is going to be a part of the rest of society. Okay? So when you think of all those messed up people out in the world, well, they were raised by somebody. You understand? So I'm just saying that the fact that she's pregnant and she, at 43 years old, knowing what she was going into, a lot of people might be okay with that, and that's fine. But you know what? I was a single mom, and let me tell you, you could do everything, but you can't give that child what the opposite sex can give them. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have a cape. Okay? You just can't. That's just the nature of how God intended things to be, that we
mm-hmm,
each, as opposite sex, can teach and help develop a child to who they are in the future as adults. And to know that you're getting into this situation, this is her first child. This is not his first child. Okay? So he has older children. So he's gone through all of that, right? And the lifestyle that he has is more conducive to them now being older and off on their own than, him actually having to do late night feedings. In this case, I know you went around the block and maybe he is your true love. And maybe I'm 100% wrong. But if you're going to tell me at 43 that you're going to sign up to be a single mother with a man like Nelly,
mm.
I'm sorry, girl. You definitely settled. You definitely settled. This man walked over your integrity, over your heart, over your esteem. He treated you like next to doo doo. And now you're turning around to have his child 10 years later. Wow. Kudos to you, Ashanti. I know you have your own girl, and us women nowadays, we're like, oh, I'm independent. I could do it and I'll do it all by myself. Yeah, I sang that same motto. I took up my cape too, but let me tell you something. When a child wants their father to pick them up from school and all there is you as the mother, you feel it. You'll feel it because other children are going to have their two parents, right? And we're still in a society where we push that as the norm, where at least there's at least two people in one household raising a child. So it's not easy. It's not easy. I know you have a lot of money, and so it could be easy financially. But there's something that that child's going to be looking for that you won't be able to give that child, and that's just the straight truth, reality. I'm sure a lot of other single mothers out here can say the same thing. If they really were to examine themselves and their role in their child's life, you would see that to take that away from a child or to knowingly go into it, I don't know. I don't know if this is the best move for you, girl, but hey, kudos to you. You're 43 years old. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do at this age, hey, you explain it to your child. But I'm just going to keep it real because I was a single mother before I got married. And so it was hard.
Mm. Well, we don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I mean, the signs, like we're saying, we're going based on what we understand and previous behavior, and sometimes that's a good indicator. But like I said when we talked about this last time, I feel like I'm sorry, Nelly, Nelly's on a different tip, and that's my hope is that he is going to take that step and step up. As they say, step up to the plate. But
Wow.
the
Well, kudos to
track
her,
record,
girl.
it's looking like a shaky chance, but for
Well,
both
I
of them.
mean, even if we don't look at him and how he is with different women, how he treated
Mm,
you,
mm,
it was easy for him to walk the hell away from you. I'm
mm,
sorry. He didn't just walk away from you, he publicly embarrassed you.
mm.
So
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. I find it so hard to now turn around. I'm a different kind of chick. Listen, you only gotta burn me once. You only
Mm.
gotta burn me once. I ain't turning around a second time. You must be listen. And now okay. We'll just be see how that happens. If you are, regardless of all of the other shenanigans, you're gonna be a mama. So congratulations on that. Okay, and I'm gonna keep it right there, but I will be watching. I will be watching. And I'll just say it right now that if it's true that this relationship is just a facade and all this is just, sugar coating, then we're going to see the truth, Ashanti. We're going to see the truth because one thing children don't do, they don't fix relationships. They don't. They just don't.
Okay.
That's not their job. They weren't born with a job. You
Yeah,
understand?
that's
Like,
not a
come
way
on.
to fix a relationship.
No, it's not. Mm-mm. No.
So, yeah, well, like we said, congrats to her, and hopefully that the best situation for the child participates. Sorry, fabricates and comes to life. But if not, she's very well off too. So
Yeah.
she'll be
Mm-hmm.
okay. We had
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Haddish here. I'm gonna take that off. At the end of the day, Tiffany um got a DOI, but thankfully she didn't hurt herself or anybody else before the
Thank
police
God.
stopped her and arrested her. So prayers up for her, and hopefully she can get the help that she needs and take it easy and don't be partying out there alone, girl. But clearly a lot going on there. And then
Take an
more,
Uber. Shit.
yeah, take an
Take
Uber,
an
right?
Uber. Like you're big Tiffany Haddish. Stop this. And
Yeah,
this is
why
not
don't?
her first one either. This is her second.
Mm,
This is her
mm,
second. So I know you're going through it, Tiffany, but don't go behind the wheel.
please don't.
Please call an Uber. Please.
Um, and then Also, Kamora Lee posted on her Instagram that there was a fire at her place. It didn't look
Mm-hmm.
too bad. Like any fire is bad, but I mean, based on the video that was shown, it looks like it was contained in one area. But yeah, but it was funny. Kim and I were talking about it because we were talking about she was speaking up
Mm-hmm.
against Diddy. We were talking about
Yup.
blowing up cars. We're like, wait,
Yup.
wait a minute. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but
Oh, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
thankfully her kids are fine. The home, most of the homes for the most part is fine, except they probably the area where the fire started. Um, so
Kamora
yeah.
Lee, I think you need to go take a long holiday. Take a long holiday, girl, because
Well, recently, yes, I saw Russell Simmons, doing an interview. He hasn't done one. They
yup.
must have went out there to Bali, and he was talking about the situation. Well, we're not going to get into it this episode, but I was just like, this is pure fun.
Yeah.
This guy is a clown
He
and a
sure is.
predator. He's been known predator. He met Kamora Lee when she was 16 years old. Like, come on, he's the last person we want to hear from right now.
Right? Who put himself in exile. Whatever.
Yeah.
Kamora Lee, go on a vacation, girl. Collect all your children up, please, and go on a long vacation for the Christmas holidays. Because some people I feel are after you, girl. You've been talking too much. I'm sorry. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you're setting your truth out there, but I'm afraid for your safety. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm afraid for your safety. So, because I find it very convenient that all of a sudden, doesn't she live in California?
I assume so, yeah.
Wasn't this house in California?
To be honest, I don't know, but I feel like she's a Cali girl.
I feel like this house is in
Um,
California. And if that's the case, why would the fireplace catch on fire?
that's a well, but I mean that's a lot of a common place
Yeah,
for a
but it's
fire
a
to
fire.
start.
It's a fireplace. Okay. Well,
We don't know, but yeah, it
I don't
is in
know.
LA.
It's a little weird. A little
It
weird.
is it was yeah, she does that home was in LA that was on fire. Okay.
Interesting. You need
So
to
we're
put
go
on the.
to our final headline. And that is some local news here in Toronto. And there are some officials trying to bring up and renew or propose a cell phone ban in Toronto schools. And we know there's a reason. Initially, the school board's stance is that as long as the phones are used for educational purposes or obviously medical or emergencies, the policy right now is okay for a student to use it in those scenarios, right? Which makes sense. However, excuse me, there is a school board chair and trustee in Toronto, Rachel Turnos Lynn, who's saying that they should study and consider a potential ban. I don't think like a traditional ban as we think it will happen, but some type of revision of what's in place right now. I
Mm-hmm.
think, you know, as somebody who hasn't been in school in a long time, I don't have any young children, but I do know and have heard about, kids are addicted to these devices. This is how
Sure
they live their
are.
life. They grew
Yep.
up, they're born with social media. Like this is like messaging and social media. That is like their default mode of communication. It's not just talking face to face, unfortunately, and stuff like that, which is what is good for school. And this woman, the school board trustee who is bringing this up, has a really good point. She said we've had a long time of not interacting face to face, and we want to ensure that kids are really developing their social abilities to the best of their abilities, that they're making every moment count in class. And when you have kids distracted with cell phones and iPads or whatever, I could see how that can not be conducive to helping with their face-to-face social skills. And I've heard that a lot of parents and school and people who work with kids, that's a big concern, particularly since the pandemic.
Right. Right.
And personally, like, as long as, like, I here's my thing. I like, again, yes, it's fine. I don't even think for educational purposes. If it's like, if you're in a modern school and all the students have like laptops or tablets, and this teacher is doing the exercises, or the exercises are done on the tablet, sure, but it has to be locked to just those particular apps, right? That's my thing. There
Yeah.
needs to be some control, and that they're not diverting from whatever the material is. And then second, again, it should be like, they technically shouldn't even have, like, be having their phones with them. Like, it should be in their bag until it's time to go to school or something, or school home, or if there's something happens,
Mhm.
whatever, it's there for
Mhm.
a backup plan. But you were saying you have a young one, and what were your
Yeah.
thoughts on the potential
Well, I
ban?
don't think that it would be smart to ban it, but I
No, yeah.
think putting an age limit on it would be helpful because um, there is before and after care that us parents have to pay for like I work a 9 to 5, and so unfortunately school finishes at 3:30, which I could never really understand. Anyhow, so it
Mhm.
finishes at 3:30, and so your child then goes to an aftercare program until you're able to pick them up. And so that cuts off at the age of 12. So you have to find something for your child to do from 3:30 onward. Now,
Mhm.
in Canada, you can only leave your child alone at the age of 13. So there's a year
Oh gosh, wow, that's
right?
backwards.
Yeah, there's a year of 12 to 13 that your child has to still have a babysitter, has to be attended to. However, they're not able to go to after school programs that are at the schools.
Mhm.
Um, And so you have to find some sort of other after school program, such as sports or something for your child to do, in which, if you can't afford to do so, then your child has to be able to walk home,
Mm.
right? Or they need to be able to get off of the school bus and walk into their home. So that time, I think a child should have a
Of
phone,
course, I think outside of the
right?
classroom, it's totally makes
Right,
sense.
exactly. So therefore, if they're going to have it outside of the classroom and they're away from their parents, then there will be a need for them to have it at school. However, not in use. It's not in use. So at the age of 12 is when you show up to the school with a phone in your bag. Before that age, I don't think that there's any need for you because everywhere that you are going to be is accounted for by an adult. So up until the age of 12, where you're no longer able to be in that program, and if you have to walk home from a bus or walk home, period, without a bus, there should be something there, but the phone will have to be on the child, and it can be off and it could be in their bag until 3:30, where they can turn it on and use it at that time. In the morning, it should be turned off. Someone who is 10 years old, I don't believe should have a phone. I just don't think it's necessary. They're still in a position where they have after school programs where they're being watched by an adult, and which their parents have to come and pick them up at said place. So I don't understand what would be the point up until that age of 12 to even have one, to be honest. That's just
Yeah.
how I feel. But you can't ban people on how they communicate with their children and feel safe to communicate with their children. So I think then, to counteract what I'm saying, your child cannot turn the phone on from these hours to these hours.
Yeah, and I think that's, and when I read into it, that's really all the ban is proposing. They're not saying don't have a phone or don't bring a phone. They're saying that we want to empower teachers to say, to enforce cell phone bans in the classroom. Just in the, they're talking
Well,
strictly
the
in the
cell phone
classroom.
needs to be off, period.
Yes, exactly. It's like, it's not the fact that they, I don't, it doesn't come
Yeah, you can
across as
have them in
having
your
it.
bag. That's great
Yeah,
for you, but it better be off.
exactly. That's the what they're proposing.
Yeah, and so that part, yes, but I think they should also be a little bit more logical with their thinking after the age of 12, because I couldn't understand why I can't get aftercare after 12, but legally I can't have my child alone until 13. So what am I
Yeah.
to do? What am
Yeah,
I to
that's a
do as a
pickle. I
parent?
did not know that
Right?
they had
Okay,
an age
so
cutoff.
right? So it makes it very difficult for parents in between that age range. But anyway, I'm sure they'll figure out something to do. But I think that children need to get back to learning and socialization and
Hmm.
being in the classroom.
Oh
I
yeah.
think they've lost a lot of time, and their social skills are suffering big time. This is the first year that, even my daughter has told me that there's more behavioral children in the schools and in the classrooms. A lot
Hmm.
of children had a really rough time being out of that social setting with their peers. And so now, to get back into it, because
Hmm.
children, they like routine and they thrive on routine. So
Hmm.
when the routine switches drastically, not just for 1 year, not for two, but almost three, it's hard for them to go back into that because the routine has now changed and it's different. Um, and so, it's a really tough position to be in, because as a parent, we understand that they have to have technology. That's just the real deal, because if ever we go into another pandemic, guess what? They have to be technically
Yeah, now
savvy.
it's here. It's here to stay, and I think it's just more like, how do we put some guardrails, I guess, for kids, especially now that they're so addicted to these devices. It's hard to
Hmm.
get their attention having that device in their backpack, or having access to it, and then having to pay attention to a teacher, or interact with their classmates. But we'll see where this goes. I personally don't think
Yes.
it's going to get far, because I just, like you said, I think we're just way past that.
Yeah.
But we shall see. So, quick thing, Nicki Minaj released her album. Did you listen to it or not?
I did not get a chance to listen to
Okay,
it,
and that's
people, but
okay.
I
So
will.
if you didn't, then we'll wait. We won't talk about it. We'll wait till you get to
Okay,
listen to it.
give it,
Be-
yes, next week. I will listen to it over this week because I have some things to do at home. So
Yes,
I
next
will
episode
definitely.
whatever our next episode is, we'll talk about that. So
Yes.
let's go into our first segment, and that is Wagwan for real.
Fun for real.
And in this segment, we talk about stories that just don't add up, or they just don't make sense, or we
Not a,
just catch them, we
not a
see
damn
them, and
thing.
we have to ask the question, what I want for
For
real?
real.
And so this week we're going to talk about a event that Nick Cannon's name has been attached to,
Mm-hmm.
in connection with the Zeus network, and that is a dark skin versus light skin thing. I don't even know
Oh,
what they're going to be doing on stage. Let me actually look at that flyer one more time.
right?
It says Nick Cannon. They have Nick Cannon presents Bad versus Wild Las Vegas, Dark Skin versus Light Skin. Oh, I get it. Bad Girls Club versus, I guess, whatever their other show is, whatever other show they have. But I'm pretty sure now I get it. It looks like they're pitting the reality star girls
Yes, against each
against
other.
each other.
Yes.
Okay, but regardless, they had some other versions of it. They had natural booties versus BBL booties. I think I saw another one versus the big girls versus the slim girls, and all three of them very derogatory, very objective to women. But as a culture, we're going to focus on the dark skin versus light skin, which has since been rebranded chocolate goddesses versus caramel goddesses. But the
Oh,
issue is still at
miss me.
hand.
Miss me. Please, with the bullshit, please. Yeah.
The issue is still at hand, in that we are, as a culture, as a group, are pitting each other and using these categories put upon us from the colonial structures and the slave structures, and using that still to categorize ourselves. And to me, it's ignorant, it's backwards, and I am disgusted. And
Yes.
all the question is, why we have this in Wagwan for real is, Nick Cannon, Are you having some money problems? You having some
You
money
damn
issues?
sure.
We
Damn
know you
sure
have a
he is.
hustle, but we know you hustle and you work hard, but you also do work hard with a lot of small things. He hasn't done a big thing
In a
because, yeah,
long
okay, his
time.
biggest thing is wilding out, and he had some
And
issues
we
and he got.
found out that's not even his thing. He's an employee too. So
Ooh,
please.
yeah, yeah, we found out the hard way, and he found out the hard way. He is just an employee. Damn,
You
that's
an
a good point.
employee.
So
Okay.
clearly, what we're trying to say here is we know he works a lot, and he has to because he has damn near 12 kids. No, I think maybe it's 9 or 10 at this point.
He was 10.
But
Mm-hmm.
10, call it 10 at this point. But is things that bad? Like we're stooping this low, and the irony and why we're bringing it up. If it was somebody else, like a young one of these young rappers who are like drugged up on lean or something, maybe I wouldn't have as much to say. But Nick Cannon is very much about black empowerment, liberation, making your own, yada yada yada, the advancement of black people and the black culture. And for you to be that type of person and like that messaging and tout that messaging and come back here with this, it's like, what's happening, Nick? What
Right?
is going on?
And I stand corrected. As of I see here,
Mm-hmm.
he has 12 children. He has 12
Damn,
children.
12. Okay.
12 children. Okay, with
Woo!
6 different women. Okay. So here's the thing, right? I know you're hard up, Brethren. I know you're hard up because
Clearly.
we heard some stats the other day that you complaining that you have to spend around $200,000 a year to take the children to Disney World. Now, here's the thing, that doesn't buy Pampers. It doesn't buy clothes, nor food, nor shelter. You taking them to Disney World don't mean nada. I want to hear how much college funds you started, okay? When you get to that level, then holla back. But right now, I know you're hard up. You are hard up because I've noticed that with Nick Cannon, he likes to play on the stereotypes of Black people. I feel like if you really, really take a look at his career, he has played on different stereotypes of Black people.
Mm.
Really, if you look at his career,
Well, definitely
um,
with Wildin' Out, they do that.
with Wildin' Out, some of the movies that he was in back in the day, in the late, early 2000s, yeah, to around 2010, 2015. I know he had a few movies out there that he's done, but he always plays on stereotypes. And so this is not really, to me, brand new. But the fact that you're willing to work with Zeus Network, I'm sorry, I find that Zeus is just filth. It's just filth. They definitely take advantage of Black people. And the fact that you're riding the train with them, it's kind of disgusting. So for me to see you doing this at this point in your career, seeing that you are such a working man, a hard working man out there, um, why? Why? I mean, we already see your divisiveness. We already see how you are. But now you have to destroy the look of Black women. Now you have to pin us against each other even more. Really, that you're getting involved, like you're going so low, them checks that you're collecting from all those other resources avenues must be drying up, because I don't even
Mm.
know why you'd want to attach your name to something like this. But remember what I said to you is, where's the same smoke that he got when he had this Jewish comments? Where's the same smoke? I don't feel nobody else's outrage other than Black people. I don't hear nobody else saying this is just horrendous. This is
Mm.
disgusting. This is disgusting. Um there's a multiple reasons why, but one that sticks out to me is that of all the baby mothers that he has one chocolate Black woman that carried a child for him. We said then, why, girl? Why? But anyhow, she stepped out, had a baby with him. He is going to have one darker skinned child amongst all of his light, racially ambiguous children. Why? Why would you do something like this? Your little girl could turn back one day and see what you were a part of. That one little girl that you have that is dark skinned amongst all your other children who are racially ambiguous is now going to get to see what her father really thinks about her brown skin. This is the type of nonsense that you're going to now put generations to come. This is what they're going to see. Really? Like, as black women, we don't have enough up against us? For real? Will we have to play into this stupidness? Nick, like, honestly, I need you to take several seats. I need you to go and find another avenue of money besides working with the devil, which is Zeus Network. Because all I see them put out is all the trash that you could possibly think of that is black.
Mm.
All of it. And you're involved with this shit. So, you know what, Nick? Wagwan for real, Betchin. You brooks. You brooks me. You have to go get involved with this nonsense. All the controversy when it comes to, you know, just pure negativity. Why are you involved? Why are you always spearheading this type of nonsense about black people? Why? Why? Fatherless homes. You're the king of that. Like, why? Why? For real, what is the real motive here? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you realize that you came from a black woman? Like, does that even penetrate your thoughts? Like, I really don't understand. But I see that the only color you really care about is green, because you're ready to sell your soul to get that green. Sad but true.
I
This
hope Zeus is
damn
really
loser.
I hope Zeus
Like,
is really dropping a bag for him to do this nonsense.
listen, they best be dropping a bag. Because Zeus, the type of nonsense that they're involved with, look at Krishan and Blueface. Look at they're from Zeus.
Yeah,
Okay, I have never heard of something positive coming off of Zeus,
I agree.
right? And now Nick Cannon, you have your hand dipped up in there for real. What you should focus on is the one black programming out here, which is Wildin' Out, that shows our abilities as black people in a positive way. How about you try to get some ownership of that show? How about you go and try to, do something for your community that will actually help benefit it instead of this nonsense? Like, I couldn't believe that he attached himself to this. He has to be broke. He has to be. Too much damn trips to damn Disney World. Okay? 200,000 a year? What you mean, friend? That's a lot of damn money to take your kids to Disney World. How much time are you spending with them? Because your time is more valuable than your money. So, miss me with it. Instead of you putting your time into this type of nonsense, how about you think of a sitcom, of single black women with the same baby father? How about that? How about that? How about
Hey, I feel like, and it's his story, so why not?
100%? I'm throwing it out there for you, Nick. I'm giving you some ideas up in this. As long as you stray away from this crap, listen, like, honestly. And furthermore, why do these black women actually stand to be pinned against each other? Like, for real, the comparison of it all. See, this is why I keep saying this. I can't stand comparisons. Like, why are we comparing? You all black. You're all black. Okay? Because you might think that you're closest to whiteness, but let me tell you something, you ain't white. So when the white man realizes that you ain't white, guess what he's gonna do? He's gonna treat you the same, okay? Like Keisha from the block. You understand what I'm telling you? You're gonna get treated the very same. So miss me with it. Like, I can't stand him and his nonsense. I can't stand Nick. I cannot. Remember what I told you, the public announcement that this man is putting out here? This is the type of public announcement he wants to be a part of. Really? That we're pinning black people against each other? We don't have it hard enough. For real. We need you out here. And there's stupid men that follow Nick Cannon and his nonsense that will get on this train. Why are we comparing body parts? Who has a real booty and like? Why are we doing this comparison crap? Like honestly, it's so it gets on my damn nerve. I can't take it.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's move on. Anything else to say about Nick Cannon and his
No,
nonsense?
it's just I'm disappointed, and this
Yes,
is ignorant as shit. But
it
yeah.
sure is, and you are right. It's disgusting, and
Mm,
so we're gonna move on into something else, and so we're gonna enter into the
the
workouts.
workout.
Yes, this is where we work out our hearts and mental fitness. We do deep dive discussions on things that are affecting us. And we haven't done one of these in quite some time. And you know what? When Jeanette thought of it, I was like, yeah, man, we haven't done one of these in quite some time. And it's Wild Black. Okay, so Christmas Wild Black. We've done different, working while black, traveling while black. Well, this is our Christmas while black episode. And so we are going to talk about Christmas for the black people here. Now,
Hmm.
I'm going to take it, we are of Caribbean descent.
Yep.
And I find that, Caribbean people, black people, they do Christmas a little different. Yeah,
Just a little, just a
just
little.
a bit different. You understand?
Mm,
And seeing that we are, Caribbean, I want to talk about our experiences. And so, one experience that I want to, no, there's a few, but there's one experience when Christmas came as a youth for me growing up. It was a big ordeal. It was a big ordeal. My
mhm.
mom had to go. She had to get certain peas from this place. Turkey have to come from that place. Have to go here. Have to go there. Why? It was just a big to do. Christmas has never stopped being a big to damn do.
Mm,
And as a Caribbean person, I do like having some, nostalgia at Christmas time, things that I remember as a youth, like certain foods that I like to eat. Gotta have some sorrow going on. You need some sorrow, some rum cake going on. Gotta have, these are the things that made my childhood what they are, and remembering Christmas. Now, as a child, it wasn't as hectic as it is now because now I'm the one going to this store for peas and going that store for the turkey and this and that and the third. And I'm just tired, but tired. But, and it hasn't even started, Bridget. Yeah, it hasn't even really started. But also, there was the different smells of Christmas at home,
yeah.
smelling when my mom made cake and, that good food upon Christmas. And, my mom, when I was growing up, she'd make bread. The house would smell of fresh bread, brethren. Let me tell
Mm. Oh,
you.
that's an amazing smell.
What? Let me tell you, it was the bomb. And being that I'm Jamaican, Christmas morning with ackee and saltfish, with the dumpling and provision. Yes, with the plantain and all. The foods were just awesome. And I now see how hard my mom had to work and plan and put together in order
Ooh, it's
for
a
it to
lot.
all go down.
Mm,
Girl, it's a lot. And so it brings me forward to this day and age now where, like I said, I'm going to be having, Christmas dinner here
mm-hmm.
with my mom and my dad. Our family's large, so we kind of have to break it up. And, everybody we all get together at the Christmas, but my parents will be coming here. And so I've been putting together decorations and trying to get the house ready and
Okay.
planning a menu and all that thing. And let me tell you, Christmas in Toronto is not easy.
It's not easy at all.
The consumerism of it all. Like, honestly.
Oh my god.
Honestly. Okay, you go wherever you go, you're waiting. You're waiting for a parking spot. You're waiting to get in the store. You're waiting in a line to pay. And people out here in these streets, some of them, don't understand the concept of personal space. They don't quite get the personal space thing. Or they're saying, I don't give a damn about your personal space. I'm gonna be up in your ass, so hurry the hell up. Okay, so, and it's just, I think, as enjoyment as a youth, it's a different type of enjoyment now. My enjoyment will come when the last dish is washed on
Whew.
Christmas Day. That's when I'm going to kick up foot. Yes.
Doesn't that suck? Like you literally have to go through the all the prep, all the everything, and you even have a meal, and that's maybe you can have a little social time, a little breather.
You're talking 4 hours tops.
Yeah,
That's what
pretty
we're doing.
much. Yeah, it's a lot.
Right? I mean, setting up the house for, my daughter and stuff like that, that's good. And having her open up the presents and stuff like that, it brings me joy. It does. Um, and then I know what's coming. I know the
Hmm.
preparation and the this and the that and, entertaining and stuff like that. It's a lot. It's a lot. And so when that last dish is washed, you understand? I'm a kick up foot. You understand? And nobody better ask me
As
to
you
get up.
as you should, as you should.
Right? So let me ask you, as a black person at Christmas,
Hmm.
wagwan with you,
So, yeah, so my culture is also Jamaican as well, and so the thing with Jamaica, Christmas Eve, Christmas is like Christmas Eve, you clean, you wash,
right?
you're preparing whatever it is you're gonna be cooking or baking the next day, or maybe you do your baking the day before or a few days
Yep.
before. All the holiday, or excuse me, prep is happening, and back home, that's how it is. And then Christmas Day, you have your meal or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
so, two things. Yes, we have the sorrel. We have something called
Mm-hmm.
sorrel, which we cook. We boil up. It's a nice drink, Caribbean
Mm-hmm.
drink, lots of ginger. We have your rum punch. You have
Yep.
your, if you're a cake person. My mom's not a baker, but other people will bring cake or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But lots of cooking. So as a child, like similar to your experience, Kim, I had to help mommy
That's right.
for a long time. It's like, but my
Mm-hmm.
sisters, obviously, I had some older sisters who would help and do their thing, but they have a different style. Like they would cook something and bring it or something, but like they're not gonna come early, so they're gonna come when it's close to dinner,
Right.
and we are ready to serve, and whatever they bring, we'll bring it out and serve it. But they're not gonna come early, so I would have to clean up. I would
Yep.
have to dust, put the house in order. It was a lot, and it's like, now I could see, like, I could admit, like, mother, like, why is this a thing? Like, why is it that
Right.
when it's holiday we have to do all this cleaning? If we do 80%, keep the house at 80%, then we
Mm-hmm.
make our lives a little easier. But my mom's a little bit, as in her older age, has gotten very scattered with how she keeps the house at her old age. She's older, so she can't be
Yeah.
bending and doing all these things all the time. So it's a lot. So I'll go and do the deep clean, but Lord God, that takes so much energy outside of me helping her prep the fish and the meat. And to your point, I'll be honest, it's not the most fun experience.
No.
Maybe I should try and find ways to make it fun, but it's hard. Like, my mom's an old school Jamaican lady. It's hard. It's very
Yep.
hard. Like,
Everything have to be done a certain way. You understand?
so, just finding ways to make it fun maybe is a new solution. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but it's a lot. And another thing, when I was growing up, black, I don't know if you had this experience, but my dad would just be like, I knew very early Santa wasn't a thing. I grew out of that at maybe 7 or 8 years old, because my dad was just like, what do you want? We're going to the store to buy it,
Right?
and we're gonna wrap it. Like, that was my Christmas. No surprises from my parents with that. My dad was just like, what do you want? We're gonna go to the store, you choose it, and we're gonna wrap it together. So usually the tradition is also I'll help my dad wrap gifts on New Year's Eve. He's a last minute
Mhm.
person, so we're scrambling late night New Year's Eve wrapping gifts.
Yep.
I've gotten out of that bad habit since moving away. Like if I have anything separately, I'll take my time and wrap it at home and then bring it in a box or a bag. But I'll still go over there and help my parents wrap their gifts on Christmas
Right?
Eve. So it's a whole thing, and it's like it can be fun. Like the wrapping of the gifts late at night, we're having drinking some sorrow, some wine. That's actually nice. But if you're in the combination of cleaning and prepping,
Yep. It's
like
a
you said,
lot.
you're tired. You're tired the day, like from the night before. I'm going
Yeah,
from the night
then
evening
yeah.
before. So, but let's say fun things. So I said some fun things, which is
Yes.
wrapping gifts with my dad, playing Christmas music, and then obviously when the family members come, like when the kids open their gifts or stuff, that's cool. A new tradition, a fairly new traditional tradition that we started is we play Grinch. It's called this gift game called Grinch. It has White Elephant, Grinch. It has lots of names,
Oh.
but it's a gift exchange where you don't because it's hard to get together and do the pre-pick for Chris Kringle, right?
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I really like that because like buying gifts for like 6 or 7 people, that's kind of crazy. Like you said, in this capitalist world, everybody has, and these are grown people. Like there's probably a couple of
Yep.
kids, um,
The
in
rule
my
is
family.
in my family, only kids.
I
We
love
only
that. So
buy for
that's good.
children.
You guys have something like whatever. I think it's like just getting into that was too much. So we started doing like you'll get for kids. Plus now we'll do like the white elephant, which you just buy one gift that's like maybe $25, and we'll do the gift game where we exchange and uh you could steal gifts or whatever. So it's fun. We have it's like now we have a whole tradition. So that's another fun thing.
Right. Right.
Um for the holiday. And also sometimes I'll go to mass with my mom on Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Not every year. I don't do it every year because, like I said, it's so hectic. But I try to um, go to mass as well. If not midnight mass, and some churches have Christmas Day mass, which is service, which is crazy. Like my sister's church, they might do it on Christmas Day. I don't agree with that because Christmas Day is too hectic. But that's
Yes.
another thing I try to do. I don't do it every year, but I try to do that as well.
Yes, but
And
mhm. No, go
go
ahead. What
ahead.
are you gonna say? Mhm.
A tradition that I wish we did with I like is a lot of Europe from Europe, especially like really traditional Catholic families, where they actually the real Christmas is Christmas Eve, right? So it's
Mhm.
like you have your dinner, you open your gifts on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day is like a quiet day, like you just hang out. And I kind of think I would enjoy, like it's bringing up the deadline one day earlier, which is
Right?
already crazy, but I feel like that would be so much more joyful enjoying. I would
Mhm.
enjoy that a lot more because like you said, you're so tired Christmas Day because you've been
Right?
slaving all day, so you can't
Right?
just for a lot of families Christmas Day is a quiet day.
Right.
You
I
if
know.
anything you're making calls or maybe you visit people if there's some people you visit,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Yeah, I know. Well, as I was saying earlier, my family has gotten really big, and what I
Yeah.
hope to do in the future is to like get a facility that can house us all, and we all just go there, have Christmas dinner, and we're done. Do the gifts,
Mm.
do the everything one shot. For instance, my baby shower and my daughter's first birthday was at it was a community center, but it's in
Mhm.
like York region, which is
Mhm.
outside of Toronto, and it's set up like an actual house. So the house itself, it has a kitchen, it has somewhere where you can dine, it comes with chairs, tables, all that good stuff. And the outside of the premises you can also use. So I was thinking that maybe one year we could get all of us together into this one huge spot. We can invite people and just
That's a
make
good
it
idea.
just a one shot done. It's finished. Everybody bring your food, bring your
Everybody
presents
can
to
bring
this
their
one
plate,
spot,
whatever they're
right?
preparing, they bring it, and
And
yeah.
what's really good about this place is they do the cleanup.
Oh
So, right? Like, obviously, you can't leave the place a
no,
disaster, but they do the cleanup. So, I'm thinking it might be something worth trying in the future because, we can't house all of our people in one person's home. And
yes.
so, and enjoy a meal, right? Even buffet style. So we have like, our family is slowly growing. And so right now there's only three small ones, which my daughter's
Mhm.
included. And the rule is once you hit a certain age, the gifting's done. Unless it's from
Yeah.
your parents,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole family is not going to be buying you gifts. So
Mm,
usually when you hit around 17, 18 years old, the gift is done. And anybody under that age, all the young little kids, we all make sure they
yeah.
have lots of gifts from everybody. And we all enjoy that, looking at them and knowing that they enjoy it and
Mm.
seeing,
Yeah, because
you
as an
know,
adult, here's my philosophy. As an adult, and you're as long as you're not destitute, if you're working and you're self sustaining, there's nothing I can't get you that you can't get yourself. You know what
yourself,
I mean?
right? Exactly. I
And
totally
I
agree.
like that. That's a good policy you guys have.
Right. And so, I mean, obviously the ones that are teenagers, they're not looking forward to that because all the free paper, but no, nobody give you no money, no, nothing at all. But
Mm-hmm.
no, well, it just makes sense because it's really for the kids. Like Christmas is really, all of this that we're going through is really for those kids to see what Christmas is like with family around and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And overall, Christmas while black can be very challenging. It can. It can
Yeah.
have its ups and its downs. It could be a lot. It could be a lot. Okay. And being Caribbean descent, our Jamaican mothers want things the way they want things. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to kind of follow suit and understand this is the one time of the year that you're just gonna bite your tongue and go on through. You're just gonna bite your tongue and go
Yeah.
on through. In terms of being out in the world as a black person at Christmas time, um, I often see a lot more black people around
Mm-hmm.
this time than over the rest of the winter. It's like all of a sudden after Christmas, hibernation full effect. You understand? Black people is scarce. It's real scarce. Um, because we just don't like the cold. But overall, Christmas while back could be really fun. It could be a great time of year.
Put
As
on your reggae Christmas songs, your
what
soca
the
Christmas
reggae
songs.
Christmas songs are
Drink your rum.
playing,
Drink your rum punch.
right? Have your little
Mm-hmm.
1-2 wine with dinner
Your
and thing,
Baileys.
right? Feeling nice and toasty and warm, and getting prepared for the upcoming New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 2023 is done for me. It's
Oh
done.
yeah.
It's a done deal. You
It's the done
understand?
deal.
It's a done deal. I'm just waiting for the Christmas to pop off. You understand? And after
Okay.
that, different flex. Now I'm focused on, okay, what do I want to accomplish? I don't like having New Year's resolutions, but I do like having a plan of action for
A plan of
2024.
action. Me too. I love that
Right?
idea.
So, and Christmas sometimes, it gives you a chance to be around family and friends and kind of give you a different perspective, step
Yes.
away
Yeah.
from work and the grind and be around people who you love and love you. And so, with all that being said, we do hope that your hearts and minds were activated on this week's show. So, whether you lead with your heart or your mind, please stay passionate and thoughtful. And we'll talk to y'all real soon.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Bye. Happy holidays.